Historic Preservation Commission.
Microphone, please.
Where's the clapper? Welcome, everybody, to the Thursday, September 12th, 2024 regular meeting of the City of Ojai Historic Preservation Commission, being held here in the historic location. And could I get a roll call, please?
Chair Akins.
Oh, that's right. I was looking up. Yeah, here.
Vice Chair McCatton.
Here.
Commissioner Sims.
Here.
Commissioner Walker.
Here.
Commissioner Basasha.
Here.
Okay, if you'll stand with me and we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I was going to have Rick do it, but no one would understand. Ready to begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all.
I would like to interrupt the meeting at this time for something, and so everyone just be quiet for a moment.
Okay.
Or not, but don't talk about anything on the agenda.
Pledge of Allegiance.
I just say the word agenda a lot, make me nervous.
There we go. Here. See, is this, turn this off? Red. Oh, okay.
Without a pretty plate, because I'm just not that organized, we would like to present you with a card and a cake
Ooh.
for your 10-year anniversary with the City of Ojai Historic Preservation Commission.
Thank you. Thank you.
So,
Yes.
if
11 days.
If you would.
Oh, this is where it gets
if you would
dangerous.
just make one cut, then I will take it away and
Like
take care of it, because
One slice or
no,
all the way across?
just put your knife in there for good luck.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Doesn't matter where, just put your knife in there. There you
Okay.
go. Now everybody's happy.
sweet. Okay.
This is for you.
Well, thank you.
And I'm gonna
Thank you.
cut cake for
And we could do it
everyone.
at the end, or?
Very
No, we're gonna
nice.
do this right
Right
now.
now.
We're gonna put the cake in front of you and then start the meeting. Is that okay?
That's fine.
You can eat your
Mm.
cake while we're having a meeting.
We can have our cake in our meeting too.
There you
This
go.
is like having dessert for breakfast for dessert for dinner, or something like that.
Mm.
And we can see, if anybody gets upset with us for doing this at the beginning of the meeting instead of the end.
So you're in the double digits club now, Brian.
I am. Well, I will be in 11 days.
Everyone's getting a piece of cake, and the other reason I'm doing this at the beginning is because we have an applicant here who has their child who is having a hard time, and he may feel a little bit better if he's got a piece of cake.
Oh, sweet.
Ah,
I like it. I like it
So,
much.
Um,
Okay, give me time to
Now,
look up.
Chair, if it is at all possible to continue while I'm doing this, that's great. If not, that's fine too.
We'll do the
Okay.
minutes.
We can put the cake in front of everyone.
Okay, I'm ready. Thank you very much. That's a big surprise. I mentioned this the other night at council meeting. Someone was paying attention. And thank you all for being here. So, moving on, Pledge of Allegiance. We did that. Do we have any public communications? Well, she's doing such a great job cutting that cake. I hate to interrupt her.
We do not.
Okay. In that case, then we will move ahead to the museum representative report. I feel so young because all us old guys, when we give talks at church, we whip out our printed paper and read from that. And all the young guys just whip out their iPhones and give their talks from that. Thank you, Mara. So this is from Kristen Larson, who is at our museum holding it down right now while Wendy's on vacation. She says, our current exhibit is the Ojai Studio Artist with Inside, Outside, Flip Side, featuring 63 artists. I'll let you figure that one out. Exhibit ends on October 14th. After that, there will be an exhibit curated by Cassandra Jones about spiders. Timely. Our Halloween bash is on October 26th. The Top Shelf Brass Band will be returning to play. We will have an interactive installation by Emily Allard. Michael Gump is returning with something spectacular, plus a lot more exciting things to come. Flyer is attached. Well, this month's third Friday on September 20th will feature members of the Ojai Studio Artists with a live art demonstration. Whoa, sounds like fun stuff. So yeah, Ojai Studio Artists is currently our exhibit that's going on there. Okay, consent items. Minutes of the August 8th, 2024 regular meeting.
Okay.
Okay, any adjustments, corrections? Pat Clark Dorner spelling errors? Rick's really good at keeping that tradition going.
So I'm sorry, are we talking about the
We're on the
minutes?
The minutes,
Okay,
yes.
thank you.
Yeah.
Are there any adjustments, corrections?
No.
Nope, do we have a move to approve then?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, second?
I'll second.
Ooh, she beat you at the finish
Okay.
line.
Okay, Rick is seconding?
Okay, Rick is seconding.
So I'll take a vote.
Roll call, please.
Yes. Commissioner Brasasha,
Yes.
Vice Chair Manhattan,
Yes.
Chair Akins,
Yes.
Commissioner Sims,
Yes.
Commissioner Walker.
Abstain. I wasn't here.
Nope. Those mask things. Okay, so voting is unanimous. We ready to move on there? Okay. Okay, at this time then we are going to move to a public hearing item. And
Joseph, you'll want to be in here in a minute. We're going to start that item right now.
oh, is this the painter? That's why it looked familiar.
He's actually not.
What?
He's not the painter, but I'll give a presentation.
Okay. Joseph's our maintenance guy that's been so helpful at the museum. That's why it looks so familiar. Go
Okay.
right ahead.
Okay. So are you ready for this?
Yes.
Okay. So item number 2 is a work permit 24004. It's for repainting the exterior of the Ojai Arcade. And the painting includes, well, let's see, the City of Ojai Public Works Department submitted a work permit requesting the HPC approval of painting of the wall, arches, columns, all the same color, which is a Navajo white, and the ceiling, which is proposed to be painted the same color as it is existing. The painting is part of their regular maintenance. And as you are aware, but the public may not be, that the arcade is city landmark number 5. The design guidelines for the Ojai Arcade that were adopted by City Council in '08 includes a specific color for the main wall of the arcade and the arch structure, which is the Navajo white. However, the wood and concrete column bases are not included, and so hence they're just going to paint them the same color as they are existing. And staff is recommending approval. It's pretty straightforward. It's a maintenance project for the city, but it is a landmark, and that's why it's before you. And we do have Joseph Padilla here from the Public Works Department and his son, who's outside playing in the fountain. So if you have any questions of me or of Joseph, please let
Okay,
us know.
questions, Craig?
I have a question. I'm wondering about the parapet over the pharmacy, because that has the vine growing on it. And it seems to me this would be a good time to have that vine cut back and then have that be repaired and painted.
So I will let the Public Works employee speak to that. However, that's not part of the project. The project is repainting the arches and that wall, not, and, anyway, I'm gonna let Joseph speak to that, see if it's part of it. Yeah, so what you'll do is, just come up to the podium, please, and state your name and your position with the city, and then you can
Good
answer the
evening.
question.
All right, good evening, everybody. It's my first meeting, so glad to be here. My son's out having a great time. My name is Joseph Padilla. I'm the Public Works Project Manager, Public Works Inspector. And I'll be running this project for the City of Ojai Public Works Department. So great question about the vine. That's pretty much the question that's on everybody's mind when it comes to this project. We did receive a report on the vine, which suggested that we prune the vine back in late fall, early spring. Our projected date for this project is the beginning of October. So we kind of lie in between that line between summer and late fall. Our plan is to potentially paint around it for the time being, just because we don't want to cause any type of stress to the vine. And that's kind of where we want to go. So our plan moving forward at the beginning of October is to work around the vine as much as possible, and paint around it until we can come back and do a full trim of the area at another time.
So
Excuse me, there would be a plan to come back in the spring and do it?
Come
Because
back in the spring and trim vigorously. We probably have about 2 feet of vine growing outward. And you're talking about in the face on Ojai Avenue and also along Signal Street. It's quite a bit of a task. You know, it's something that we're actually going to get a contractor to do. And, you know, we're hoping for the best. So.
Because they have cut it back in the past. They've cut it way back, and it's gone almost down to where it comes out of the ground. And it's
wow.
pretty hardy. It sprang back. And I think when they redid the arcade back in 89, 90, they took that vine down. I mean, you'd want to do it with an arborist or someone who, because that vine is historic as well as the arcade. So, but I just am concerned about the plaster or the stucco and whether there's damage being done with, and it, to me, it's just such a beautiful building that's being hidden, you know, behind the, behind that vine. It would be nice to cut it back and let it breathe and show its natural beauty.
I agree with you 100%. Yeah, and that's why we want to take full precaution. We want to follow the report. I think it was Bill Millett that provided that report. We've been working with the property owners of the pharmacy as well, and they just recently got a new property manager for that property who we've also been working with. So our plan is, like I said, late fall or early spring to do pruning of the vine so that we don't damage or harm the plants.
And then you'll be able to paint that part of the arcade at that time.
Yeah, and I would love to expose that section in that photo on the roof.
Yeah, it can always grow back.
Oh, yeah.
It will.
Yeah, it will definitely. So I think we were just looking at some Google photos in March, and I think that's one of the times where it blooms. So we'll hopefully get to it so that it can go into full bloom for that time and in spring, and just kind of add to the ambiance of coming into Ojai. But it's something we're fully considering, and you know, we don't know what to expect underneath there because it's, I think, 34 years. Sorry, I was born in '89. That's why I know. So I could do the quick math. So yeah, 34 years probably from the last time it's been done properly.
Then if I could just ask one more question. The being a landmark and being given a CEQA exemption that it's received requires that the work be done in conformance with the Secretary of the Interior standards and the guidelines that they have for repairing and for painting stucco. And I'm wondering if you I didn't see it in the report, whether that would be one of the conditions that you would follow the Secretary of the Interior standards and guidelines.
Yeah, so when we were first looking at this project, we took a full spec sheet. We actually took it from the state. I think we used the California Transportation spec that we used as our guidelines. I will have to double check with the ones you're talking about specifically, but we can definitely meet those standards.
Okay, well, I have a copy of them if you'd like to
Oh yeah,
take them.
I'll take it.
I'd like to add that the CEQA exemption here on page 2 of 3 does say that the project is going to consist, or does consist of being done in a manner that's consistent with the Secretary of the Interior standards. So for the treatment of historic properties, and Public Works Department will certainly be provided with those standards. Thanks.
Okay, and just like we did with the hotel over here, we can put that in the conditions, right? That we can add that it be done.
You can add that this evening if that's what the commission,
Yeah.
what the commission takes a vote
Well, I
on, because
understand
it's,
that
yeah,
would be part of our vote.
certainly.
Yeah, and just reading these briefly, there's going to be no changes whatsoever. We're using simple just water to clean the arcade, and we'll properly dispose of that water. And
I'm sure you will.
there's no physical changes or anything to.
And then if you have to repair, do you follow those guidelines for like repairing the stucco where it needs?
Yeah, we
it?
use exactly what is present, nothing else, nothing less.
And they have something in there about the kind of chemicals you can use and.
We're not using any type of chemicals other than the chemicals that are in the paint
Okay,
themselves.
great.
And just from doing a physical inspection of the arcade, there's minimal damage. Maybe there's some cracking, but a majority of it is a bit of deterioration from just the lack of paint over the years. So with that, without essentially taking out stucco, the paint is meant to help restore and preserve rather than replace.
Yes,
So,
thank you.
yeah.
I have a couple questions and comments. So I read the very impressively comprehensive plan for the painting. And it may have been in there, but I didn't notice it. And that is there any comment about what the sheen of the wall color is going to be?
So that's still to be determined. We are going to have a paint representative come out, and what they're going to do is they're going to color match what's there and what's existing. They're going to match sheen, and it's in the specs that the applicant supply samples prior to applying what they anticipate to put on there.
Okay, that sounds great.
So it'll be myself and our public works team reviewing that prior to anything getting placed.
Okay. Well, I'm sure you're on top of this too, but I noticed in there was a comment about the bases of the columns, and it says that, I mean, it doesn't say there's a color per se, but that it's concrete. But then Maura made a comment about that was going to be matched too, because that is painted down there.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it's I think we looked through files, even maintenance files that we had, which was paper. There was no electronic files of it. We searched through everything to try and find a color that was predetermined, and we couldn't find anything in our records. So we did our best to see if we can spec that out prior, but unfortunately there was nothing that we could.
Yeah, well, it looks like you'll be able to match it just fine, and it looks like it's semi-gloss paint.
Correct, yeah.
So my third and last question that I'm just kind of unclear about is, so I get it that you're painting the front of the facade of the arcade on the street, the arches and columns.
Yeah.
So are you also painting the sidewalk side of that too, that is the same color basically?
Yeah, correct. So basically, if you're there underneath the arcade, we are painting everything from the ceiling outward.
Okay.
We are not touching the face of any of the buildings. We are
Of
just
the
the
inside.
inside. Well, we're anything. So I guess the pillars. If you're looking out towards Ojai Avenue, we are painting everything you see there. So we're
Okay.
like a full. If everything were to be wrapped, the pillars were to be wrapped. That's
Right.
what we're painting.
Well, one interesting thing I noticed when I was down there, and I read in the report that obviously the facades of the storefronts are sort of belong to the businesses. They're they're very specific to the businesses. But in the newer, I guess it's a newer eastern part of the arcade that was added at some point, the storefronts there don't really have storefronts. I mean, they have windows that are very simple, but the facade is the same color and finish as the arcade. It's like a stuccoed colored facade, not really specific to those businesses. Is that not considered part of the project?
Yeah, so when we're reviewing the project, it was quite difficult to determine whether or not that was public property.
Right.
Because, that's kind of the question when we do any of our work is, can we spend funds, or we know we can't, but we can't spend funds on private property.
Uh-huh.
And so the true thought that came out of this was preservation. Why are we putting paint? Yeah, it looks great, but we want to preserve what we have. And so the main focus of this project was to paint but preserve what is known to be the city property and historical that has historical value.
Right.
And so at a later point, if it was decided that somehow that was the city's property, which we couldn't determine to complete in this project, that it could potentially be something that was done, but it won't be included. And because it's in decent shape, rather than if you're looking at the exterior walls from
Mhm.
Ojai Avenue, the top caps, the pillars, the parapet wall, those are the areas where we're mainly focusing on.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Well, I don't know if you've noticed it, but when you go down there, take a look at what I'm trying to describe.
Yeah, you walk down that area and, like you said, there's a newer section and then there's an older section. And you have areas where windows are painted specific colors, and then you have a white face. We can call it a Navajo white because that's the
Mhm.
color that's specified in the historic and the downtown specs. You'll also see pieces of tile in the wall, these little detailed specimens there. But unfortunately we didn't dig deep enough to look into whether or not that was
Mhm.
part of the scope of this project.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot for your comments, and I'm glad you're painting it because it certainly needs it.
Definitely, yeah, we're excited.
Thank you.
So.
Loren, do you have a question? Our paint person? No question?
No. I think Rick hit it all. Thank
Okay,
you,
there we
Rick.
go. And Gina?
I'm good.
Okay, I just have a couple questions. What day of the week will you be painting this, and time of day, and how long? We happen to be this touristy city.
Yeah, so we wanted to paint it midsummer, but obviously it's too busy. I'm just kidding. Sorry, that was not a good joke. So it's planned to be done during the day, and it's due to just safety and availability of contractors. We do plan on pressure washing early in the morning. So sometimes you'll see us out there doing pressure washing the sidewalks. We hope to get that done early morning, and which would be the first couple of days, pressure washing. And then the paint would happen during the day, during regular business hours.
Okay, and again, you're painting essentially over the sidewalk too, because you're going all the way from the privately held buildings out to the front.
Correct.
Okay. About how long do you think this project will take?
So we are anticipating approximately 1 to 2 weeks.
Okay. Do you think that painting will interfere with the store owners that are there? Are you giving? Do you have to give? I guess you have to give notice to them when you're doing that kind of painting.
Well, we sent a notice out for tonight's hearing.
Uh-huh.
And it would be, Joseph, does Public Works notify the tenants?
Yeah. So that was another discussion that we had. Hi, Papa.
Way cute.
Hello. Say hi. Yeah. So so yes. So we know that we're getting letters sent out to the property owners. But the main thing when we're approaching this project is the property owners might not contact the business managers. They might not be running the business. So we are composing a letter, and I will personally walk to every business and present a letter and discussion for those who need, or just to present the information. But it is a painting job. We are doing it during the day. There will be obstruction to business. The plan is to be in one area no less than 30 minutes. So we move 30 minutes, we'll be moving throughout the area and essentially providing access to people to walk through. There's, we will kind of be going day by day to see how that works with the contractor, and which we've had a pre-discussion with him already, and accommodate any needs that we need to the day of, being in front of any business there. So
Great. Just didn't want to see you on the front page of the Ojai Valley News.
well, it's definitely a fear of mine.
Of us all.
Yeah.
Sometimes. No, they're good. They support us. Otherwise, I'm going to hear it from.
Definitely got some nerves going on. So
Yeah. Well, that's good. No, it sounds like you have everything in place, and letters have gone out. Might send a copy to the Ojai Valley News. So thank you very much. And again, I appreciate when Joseph got promoted to, let's see.
I went from a public works supervisor to a public works inspector / project manager.
Project manager. I remember the promotion, and he fortunately has other good people that are around him that are there to assist with the museum, which is always important to us. So thank you again for all you did for us.
Of course, yeah, we have a great team, and we're here anytime you need us. So.
And if they do another fabulous job on the Ojai jail like they did last year, we'll be very, very happy. Because they cleaned up everything, they painted, they even trimmed branches.
We heard you wanted to keep the spider webs.
Yeah, it's a jail. It's supposed to be a little creepy.
I'd like to make a
Yes.
motion that we approve the work permit with the condition that the Secretary of the Interior standards be followed, and the guidelines also be followed, and as overseen by the city inspector, whoever oversees those things, and also with the recommendation that we come back in the spring and have a plan for the vine and the arcade under the vine, that be looked at, repaired, and painted.
I don't know, excuse me, Chair, I don't know if we can condition that the Public Works do a specific job. I mean, I don't know that we can, that the HPC can condition
Oh,
the
that wasn't
project.
what I meant. I meant that we condition it on the basis of the Secretary of the Interior standards and guidelines, but then as a separate part of it, that we also have a recommendation that the city come back in the spring and have a plan to, you know.
Right, again, we can't condition this to have them come back.
No,
have a
that wasn't
plan.
my intention.
Okay, so let's make it clear what the motion for approval is. It's a motion for approval with an added condition that the maintenance work that's proposed currently follow the state, Secretary of the State guidelines and standards,
Mhm.
period. And what's the second condition?
No, that was it.
That's it, okay. Should we take a vote?
Do we
Oh, you
have a second then?
Sorry.
I'll second.
Sweet. So,
And,
roll call, please.
yes. Sorry. Commissioner Basasha,
Yes.
Vice Chair McCatton,
Yes.
Chair Akins,
Yes,
Commissioner Sims,
Yes.
and Commissioner Walker.
Yes.
great,
And
great.
can we
Go right ahead.
Can we make a second motion that we have the recommendation? So maybe that would be support from the commission for doing that would give that project a little extra.
You know what, it's, you have to come up with the wording that is appropriate, that you feel is appropriate, Chair. I'm concerned about, well, first of all, we've already taken a motion and approved the project.
Yes.
And
Right.
so that's kind of done, and then we can, I guess you can hope that the.
Well,
that
the
Public
word,
Works comes back.
The word is recommend.
yeah, the word that kind of asks for them to come back that I might use is invitation. If we share with them an invitation, I don't think that's
Or an-
putting a
An invitation.
requirement or.
No, so so it'd just be kind of a comment that you're inviting them to come back and show you, well, actually, if there's more to the work, then since it's not included here, you'll be required to do another work permit anyway. And so you'll be coming back.
Does invitation work for you, Craig?
Yeah, I just thought that we would recommend that it be
I
done.
guess we can't do that.
Can't recommend that it be done.
Well, it doesn't, you can tell them that you'd like it to be done, but it's just that we can't give them a job to do. So I don't, I mean, you.
No, I'm not
you know, I
saying
guess
they
during-
have to
during-
do it.
During commissioner comments, you can.
I'm not saying they have to do it.
Right, so during commissioner comments, you can make a recommendation, I guess that would be the word, and it won't be a vote.
Why can't I make it now that we
You
would?
can, but it's not a vote, because it's not, we're not like, I know, I'm concerned about what we're saying, and it's not an item to be voted on. Do you know what I mean? I need you to help me out, Chair.
Yeah, well,
Oh, and before you help me out, when they do this work, they have to come back with a work permit.
Anyway,
Because it's not included in this project.
right. They're
Okay.
already coming back.
When they come back, they're gonna come back with the arborist report also. That you already have, that's told you when to do that. I think it's unfortunate, and it's not on you, or even on Public Works, it's not on anybody, but I guess it's unfortunate that it's not part of this project. That's happening, but it's not.
okay.
So-
So, again, just, what we're looking for, what we may be looking for, Commissioner Walker, is going to come back to us as a part of any next step. So we will get some kind of opportunity to review what has taken place.
Right, and I think Commissioner Walker wants to just make sure that it's done. But-
Absolutely.
But that's not something that we can condition, which he says he's not. But I think probably a better word is invite. I'm not sure. I'm gonna leave it up to the chair.
Yeah, again, the invitation is kind of, we expect you to come back, but we can't force you to do it.
If I could add to the conversation, my boss, Lindy Palmer, this is a discussion that we've had. Unfortunately, we didn't get this in time for this project. It was, but our full intention is to come back and to accomplish that, and we will go through Mora and the HPC to get another permit, so.
Thank you.
Right, and I was just looking for a way that we could show support for that we really favor that idea.
Yeah,
That's
So,
good.
How about that?
There it is.
A note that the HPC supports the next phase of the project of, can that be? Just
How
a
about if I hear 5 ayes?
Aye.
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 Excellent. Thank you, Joseph. Thank you so
Great.
much.
Again, thank you, Joseph.
It looks
And-
like the cake was enjoyed. Don't forget your sippy cup.
sorry for the mess.
No, no.
And again, thanks everybody.
It's okay.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Sorry
Great.
for all the sugar.
Sugar. Okay, we are moving on to item number 3, is correct?
Yes, item number 3.
Number 3.
Thank you. Item number 3 is Ojai, the Ojai Day schedule, and staff requests that the commission at this meeting discuss the attendance, and we create, or you create, an attendance schedule for Ojai Day. You annually host an open house for landmark number 12, which is the Ojai Jail, and during the celebration, the Ojai Day celebration. Oh, Joseph, I'll clean that up. Yeah, okay, I gave him the cake, I'll clean it up. Staff offers a volunteer work schedule here on page 1 of 2, item 3. And it's a staggered, shorter shift schedule based on previous years. And it provides 1.5 to 2 hour shifts with a half an hour overlap. And hopefully you've all had the opportunity, since you've had the packet since last week, I think, to check this out and see what it is that you'd like to volunteer for. And I'm going to turn it over to the chair to
Thank you.
move forward with that schedule. Thank you.
Okay, well, Commissioner Bisaccia approached me 2 years ago and said he would like to have the first slot. And if we give that to him, he will bring his truck and help us get set up. And who wouldn't jump for that chance?
So that's
he asked a couple months ago
that's the 10 a.m. to 12.
if that's what he'd still
Okay.
like to do.
Excellent.
Okay.
I could come earlier, but I have to be out by 12:30 for that second slot. I have another engagement that I did not know was on the same day as Ojai Day.
Okay.
So I could come early in the morning and set it up, but I have to be out by like 12:30.
Okay. Well, most likely I'll be running around
You're
in
always there anyway.
my pajamas, so. This time I'll have a sign, Ventura County Ghost Hunter at 11 and 3. Come see us and your relatives.
Nice.
So,
Would do the 1:30 to 3.
Craig?
Unless you would need that. Oh, you're not going to be here.
So I have something real quick. Commissioner Vice Chair McHatton, the second slot goes until 1, but you need to leave by 12:30, but there's always an overlap with the next person. And so whoever's taking the 12:30 to 2 would be there to relieve you.
Right.
Okay. So
I'll
we're,
make sure that somebody's there, even though Brian is usually, unless,
right, he'll be,
yeah, you're
there.
always there.
He's the guy in the costume.
He's the guy in the costume.
pajamas.
so, I'm sorry, so 1:30 to 3 is Commissioner Walker?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And so there's still 12:30 to 2 and 2:30 to 4.
Okay, so put Brian in for 12:30 to 2. I'll
Okay.
just stay at the jail, entertain the kids. Gina knows how much I enjoy that.
You do so well, too.
And 2:30 to 4.
1:30 to 3 is Craig.
Right. So now I'm skipping down to the last one. 2:30 to 4.
We need an honorary HPC member.
What's she doing? Do you have to come back and pick everything up?
I wanted to ask Brian that. What did I do last year? Didn't I like leave my truck there or something, and then the truck was loaded up, and then I came and got it and moved the chairs.
So there's not a lot of things. I've already talked to Christie. It's in the report to ask that there be chairs there, that there be a quick up there, just to make sure we're covered. So those are things that the city should provide. The things that we provide are fairly small. Additional chairs. There'll be supplies, but those supplies are in a medium-sized box. That's the brochures. They're here in the city office. We used to have, kind of an A-frame board that we put up with different landmarks within the city.
It disappeared, didn't it?
We need to bring that back. It did. That year, everything disappeared.
Yeah.
It was a COVID year.
Are you saying that, did I get this, that the city is delivering the chairs to the site?
They are. That's what I talked to
That's
Christie
different
about.
from last year, right?
It is.
Okay.
Last year, they didn't have us on their list of
Okay.
sites that actually need furniture. So I talked to Christie maybe about a month or two ago to make sure we are on the list to get the quick up and get the chairs.
So you don't need my truck, but I would be helping set up.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I have an SUV. Last year, I just brought the quick up and some chairs and threw it in the back of the SUV because
Yeah,
we can
that's right, yeah.
go all the way down there.
Okay.
What
So-
is your understanding that the city's providing, so I can just confirm that after the meeting? Because my understanding it might be different, so I want to make sure what you said.
Pizza?
Water on ice. I asked about having a quick up there and
Okay,
some
quick up.
chairs.
Okay.
Now, I'm bringing other chairs because those city chairs ain't padded, so.
there a
I
way we
usually
can-
bring camp chairs.
Can we get those fans? I think we're down to our last fan. Can we get those made again?
That's a good question. Can Sherry, when she gets back, take an inventory of the supplies we have in that box? I know
Oh, sure.
last year she got the fans made in days.
Yeah, we can look at that. We can look at that next week for sure. I know
Yeah.
where the box is right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That would be helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, last year a week before, we didn't have fans.
Right.
So that was great.
Hey, I have another question that came to mind. I believe when I was on the HPC previously is we actually had like real name tags with like a City of Ojai emblem and our name, and it says, who we represent. Is that something that we could consider having again for events like this?
So what commission has those really nice ones? Is it the Arts
Arts
Commission?
Commission.
Yeah, I mean nice ones.
Yeah.
They're like this and little.
Have you seen the Art Commission's one? Can we
No.
ask them about who they
Yeah,
did?
I'm writing it down right now because I'm not sure.
They're
So
really
name
nice.
tags and that
They're
have
kind
the
of
city
very
emblem.
artsy.
Yeah, and it's like a real bona fide name tag. But also, for like when we go to, the yearly mixer and so on. I mean,
Yeah, well,
it's
they
like,
were
oh, this
wearing
is who we
theirs.
are, and
Okay.
or say we, I don't know, we did a site visit, or I even think when we went to UC, we wore those, but I'm not sure.
I'm going to look into that.
Anyway, just an idea.
Yeah, that would be great. Loren suggests that we get some old barn wood to make it our name tags out of because we need to be historic.
Etched in, burned in. Yeah.
Bring Ray Patton back to make the signs for us.
But yeah, good point. Thank you.
So what are we gonna do about that last spot?
Let's see.
Rework this a little bit?
That's true.
Coming to set up and leave, but shorten the time that you're there for both? And then we can lengthen them in the middle?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
So if we have 4 spots instead of 5 because Lauren's not around,
Mm-hmm.
if you came in the morning, but you were only there from, let's say, 10 to 11, and then you came at the afternoon, but you were only there from 3 to 4. So then you're there for any cleanup and
Mm-hmm.
setup. So then that gives the middle hours, we can kind of jangle them around so we can do it with 4 people instead of 5.
Mm-hmm. Well, sure. Anything to be helpful.
Okay, so
That's accommodating.
Rick did 10 to
Accommodating.
11.
Thank you.
That means I'm doing somewhere like 9:30 to 12:30-ish. Then you'll be doing 12 to 3,
Sure.
and then Craig, you'll be doing 2 to 4, right? I don't know, something like that. Can you make that work right?
So what I just wrote down when you were talking is that Commissioner Basasha would be there from 10 to 11, and then Vice Chair McCatton. I'm sorry. Well, hold on. Sorry, I wanted to go down from top to bottom. So 10 to 11, Basasha. 9:30 to 12:30. 10:30.
10:30.
Yeah, that makes more sense. 10:30 to 12:30, McHatton. And then 12 to 2 would be Chair, and then Walker 2 to 4.
Or 1:30 to
1:30.
3:30, and then he would be back from 3 to 4.
1:30 to 3:30, and then, I'm sorry, then
Rick would be
Basasha
back
is back from
3 to 4.
3 to 4. So as long as Commissioner Basasha doesn't mean splitting his day, coming back twice, then that works, if that works for everyone,
Yes, that works.
because you're accommodating.
Because I'm accommodating and helpful.
Noted.
Yes, always, very much so. Okay, and then Mara, you're gonna do an inventory of the box to see.
I am going to do an inventory of the box. I'm also going to send an email to the commissioners, blind copied as always, with this schedule that we just made, just so you have it in writing.
Okay,
You may have written it yourself just now, but I'm going to do that anyway. All right.
Can I make a motion to approve the revised schedule and checking for supplies?
yes. A second?
I was going to say, since it's not a hearing item, we can just say ayes.
Ayes?
Ayes.
Aye.
Aye.
Any,
Aye.
excellent. I heard 5 ayes.
Okay,
Okay.
so the reason why we're talking about Ojai Day in September is the thought that we're not meeting in October, but at some point we need to vote on that based on what I saw on the agenda.
Aha. So
So I didn't know when that vote would take place, but
how about we do that right before future agenda items, kind of combined with future agenda items, because that's where it's mentioned in your staff, in the,
Okay.
in your packet.
okay, great. Okay, item number 3, gone. Item number 4.
Item number 4, thank you, is the proposed Ojai Civic Center Historic District Ad Hoc Committee progress report. And I'll update you. What we have here is from the August 8th meeting at, let's see, there was a discussion, and Vice Chair McCatton reported that the ad hoc committee is preparing a Q&A similar to the one that was being prepared for structures of merit. And with that, I will open it up to the ad hoc committee and commission for discussion.
Okay, I'm waiting on some information and conversations, so the Q&A is a little bit on hold for right now.
Okay.
And we really don't have any updates on the downtown at this time.
Thank you.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Okay, moving on to number 5. Number 5. So,
Number
number 5, Rotary Park discussion.
Yes, so
Yes.
this is an opportunity to review and discuss Rotary Park. Chair Akins requested the inclusion of this item on the agenda for discussion. And what went out via email and was posted and is also provided this evening, for those who didn't bring their own, and also in the dais outside, is a write-up that was provided, not written by, but provided by Chair Akins, Chair Akins. And with that, I'm going to open up the discussion with the chair and open it up to the commission.
So let me tell you the background on how this happened. At the meeting on the 27th, they were discussing possible sites for the cabin village. Interesting. So there were 9 sites suggested, then it was whittled down to 3 sites. 9 sites, they gave it to the city manager. Talking to the people, they whittled it down to 3 sites. And the city manager added this site called Rotary Park. In the meeting, he acknowledged that he may have made a mistake in listing the Rotary Park as one of the possible locations for the cabin village. That got quite a bit of laughter. However, behind me were a gentleman that I know. Craig would know his name. He and his wife were sitting behind me, and then right behind them was Richard MacArthur. And so he got up in public comment, and he gave this synopsis of Rotary Park at that time. In talking with them, both I was sitting in the front row and talking with the 2 rows behind me, the conversation came up on how do we landmark Rotary Park? And they were asking me, and I said, you talk to the chair of the HPC, and then I acknowledged I was that person. And this is, the park talk is actually the talk that Richard read in that meening. They ended up deciding to put deciding to put the cabin village over in the maintenance yard down on the bottom side of that. However, because Rotary was so involved in this, again, they asked if the Rotary Park could be considered by the city as a landmark. Richard pointed out to me, and it talks about it in this book, Ojai Valley, an Illustrated History by Patricia Fry, revised and updated by Elise DePoit, former commissioner, and Craig Walker, current commissioner. And so a lot of interesting information Richard pointed out to me, as it talks about in the book. When the train came into town, they always stopped at that location because it was at that location, and I think they said it was Batillahaw Corner or something like that. That was where they would stop, and the people who were going downtown, they might end up staying on the train, but many of the people were going to hop on the stagecoach or the wagon and head off to the hot springs and go up there. Also, it was used for somebody, maybe a dignitary coming in town or a candidate coming into town and wanting to make a pitch. And so they would stop there, and then from that location, they would make their pitch and have celebrations and different things. As Craig was explaining before we got here, it has been many things. When we came here 43, 44 years ago, it was the Bunce kind of wood and hardware store, perched over there, straddling the creek, firing something like that. And then it disappeared, and we're all like, whoa. But then it appeared as a Rotary Park. Interesting to know that there's items that are there that have been brought to it. So I'm just putting it out as potential, something that we would be interested in thinking about, and then bringing that back at a future meeting. So my motion would be to consider Rotary Park as a landmark in a future meeting, based on getting more information.
That station, Matillahaw Station, I think originally it was Grant's Station.
Yeah.
Because a gentleman named Mr. Grant owned a lot of that property in that area. where Nordhoff High School and across the street was back before the turn of the century. But it was renamed Matilaha Station for the reason you state, that a lot of people would get off there and then they would be picked up by a taxi or a carriage or whatever, a stagecoach, and take them up the canyon to one of the little cabin resorts. But also, Camp Comfort was the Ventura County's first county park, and a lot of people came from all over the county to events at Camp Comfort, so that's where they would get off, and they would either walk or shuttle them down to Camp Comfort. And when Krishnamurti gave his talks back in the 20s, the Star Camp talks, that's where the people would get off and go to Crotona or go to hear Krishnamurti in the Oak Grove. So it was kind of a storied stop. It didn't have a depot at all. It was just a place to get on and off the train. So I'm not sure about the landmark, but it also could be possible as a what's called a point of historical interest, which is another one of our categories of where you don't really have a building, but it was a place where something of historic importance happened. Also, there's a horse trough there that was, I think it used to be up on Grand Avenue, and it was moved down, and it's in that park. So it does have a lot of historical interest, and we've talked in the past about other places along the trail that used to be the train tracks, you know, the olive mill and the packing house and other things that could be these points of historic interest where all you have really is a plaque that has a picture and says this is where it was and what it was all about. So there is a possibility of something. I don't know.
So I'll revise my motion and insert point of historical interest in as a landmark, because I love putting that in there, because that then opens up all of the other areas that may be considered for that, since we don't have any. I don't think we even don't have a point of historical interest.
Because there's no building really there. The only other thing would be if you considered the park itself a landmark, but I don't think it's been there 50 years, and usually 50 years is your cutoff date. So I think you're looking at the history of it in connection with the train and all of that.
Yeah.
Are there any of these old train cars left anywhere that could be brought back and placed on that site?
I don't know.
That would be really cool.
I can reach out to Richard MacArthur.
Oh, there's another thing that's connected with it. And I think they even, the Rotary Club put a little plaque in there because it was once a Chumash village, I think. There were 5 Chumash villages in the valley. And I believe one of them was there. We'll have to look into that a little further, but I believe that might be another historical thing connected with that spot.
Excuse me, Chair.
Yes.
I have someone wishing to speak. It's actually
I know, I keep forgetting to do that.
our IT person, and I'm wondering if everyone is putting on their. May I let him speak, please?
Yes. Are we talking about James?
James, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I was actually just logging in to make sure everything was going well.
Oh, thank you. I wasn't sure what panelist versus, well, anyway, whatever. Thank you. We can, all
Okay. All right, thanks.
right, bye.
Bye.
Okay, so I guess I would ask then just for a second that we make the motion to
I'll
bring
second
this
that.
back. Yeah, I like all the points you
I'll
made.
second
Thank you,
it.
Craig. Okay, roll call, please.
Chair Akins,
Yes.
Vice Chair McHatton,
Yes.
Chair Walker,
Yes.
Chair Sims.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm calling you guys chairs. You're not chairs. Commissioner?
Sweet.
Commissioner Walker, Commissioner Sims, and Commissioner Basasha.
Yes.
Yes,
Thank you.
okay, excellent. Thank you all. Yeah, I'm excited. Okay, number 6 is that future agenda items there.
Right,
Mara?
so in the future agenda items, we have that we're proposing that the October meeting be canceled. And so it's a proposal to cancel it, so I'm going to ask everyone for an aye.
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 Are there no
Aye.
no's? Okay, thank you. And then we have on here, it's not a meeting time, but October 19th is Ojai Day, and Richard Sennett is going to give 2 presentations,
11 o'clock and 3 o'clock.
11 o'clock and 3 o'clock. Thank you.
Uh-huh,
Information to all.
And is that at the jail?
uh-huh.
And then our calendar is kind of as normal, which opens up for the Ojai Civic Center Historic District and Structures of Merit to be on the calendar. And also, we have a sign permit that's been submitted for 246 East Ojai Avenue. That will be on the November calendar. And from there, I will go back to the agenda.
Okay. The one other thing that I wanted listed on there, because it's a bit of a change, and that is the time frame on the first for the consideration of the historic, the HPC awards, and then 2, and again, these are, written in light pencil, not knowing when the council will consider it. But then the other one that you mentioned, Mara, was that the award, which traditionally has been the first meeting and oftentimes only meeting in December, which when you have a trade-off with an election is crazy. And so I've heard, Mara thought that the council may be moving that up.
Thank you. So the ratification for the awards is scheduled for September 24th at the City Council. And then the second meeting, the intention is for it to happen with this council. So that would be in November.
Okay, so the
Or-
plaques would be in November sometime?
Yes,
November
a date will be provided to you.
Not the day before Thanksgiving, or? Okay, so again, just to get that in your schedule.
I'll
and
be
then
sure to send everyone a message that will be blind copied, of course, prior to when we have a tentative date on City Council.
Yeah, that would be helpful.
I'm not sure when to mention this, probably before, but if I made a little digital flyer that just said at the Ojai Jail visit, it'll be open on Ojai Day, and that Richard Sennett would be doing, can I send it to you? Maybe put it up on the your Facebook page as well?
You know, I don't have any control over our Facebook page. But maybe on the website.
Something.
Why don't you
Website
send
would be
something
good.
to me and
Okay,
And
I'll just
see
keep
how
it
it-
simple.
who and
Yeah.
how?
Okay, thank you.
How often is that little zine, that magazine that's digital on the City of Ojai? They have kind of a new.
The new
It's-
little,
Sure.
yeah, that's put out by the
Quarterly.
city manager's office, and I'm not sure how often, what the schedule for that is.
Okay.
I remember seeing on it that says quarterly. I think that's what it is.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
so you can get in contact with Christy Rivera regarding that.
Excellent, great, thank you. Okay, future agenda items, we have it here. Let's move over to planning report.
Yes, and so pretty much my planning report is going to stop with the future agenda items because I don't have any
Okay.
other report.
And again, you mentioned projects that may come forward. They're pending here. The
Yes, I
penance.
have, Well, we have a native plant month from the Ojai Valley Land Conservancy. However, that is pending at this time. It's not complete for processing. 700 San Antonio Street is, which is landmark number 25, is also pending, and it's pending right now an historic resources report. And then we have the project that I just mentioned is the sign permit for 246 East Ojai Avenue. That one is will be scheduled for, most likely will be scheduled for the November meeting.
Okay. Okay, great, thank you.
And I wasn't sure who was gonna
Oh,
bring this up, but we
I would,
talked
well,
earlier.
I'm ready to go next.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so, this is the dance I was talking about.
Commissioner comments time.
Yes, so commissioner comments. So back in preparation for the meeting August 27th, we had the structures of merit that were in the packet for that August 27th. I saw it pop up on the Thursday before. It was a rather large packet, so I sent an email to Mara and Sherry and asked them if they could print it out for me. And so I went and I picked that up Friday afternoon, and they had it for me on the desk. And then I went and sat in my vehicle out front in the shade, and I was reading through that, and I saw in the recommendations a request, an RFQ mentioned, and stopped right there because I wanted to find out more about that. I talked with Mara. She had been instructed to put it into the document. Then everybody happened to walk by. I was sitting there reading when Mara walked by, and then I was talking with Mara when Ben walked by. And so I asked if I could just have a moment of Ben's time to understand what that was. Talking with Ben, it was a very tight afternoon. I appreciated him giving me time. He suggested for him to remove that item from the city council's agenda for the next Tuesday, and that we would have the opportunity at a future meeting, we being the Historic Preservation Commission, to address that item that came up, the request for qualification. So that's why it was pulled off of the council agenda. I got up and spoke on something else and told them I appreciated speaking at 1:30 in the morning. That it was a really tight. It could have gone all night, that meeting. So, and then, so Amara is going to share with us when we may end up having the structures of merit on the agenda again.
Right. So staff will be preparing and presenting a presentation on the November 14th meeting regarding structures of merit. And when I say staff preparing, staff always includes, by the way, me as a planner, the director is staff, the city manager is staff, legal is staff. So staff will be preparing, and I'll be presenting something on November 14th regarding structures of merit.
Okay.
Thanks.
Can I add a comment to it? I just want to remind everybody that because it's November 14th, that means whatever we decide to do will be a new mayor and a new
Yes.
council member. So it's almost like a restart in a way where when it's going, what if we decide to do with it after they come back with their recommendation, we will be bringing it to a new body. I just wanted to have that in everyone's head.
Yes, excellent point.
Thank you. Oh, one more thing, but I think this is for you, Chair, and that is that our liaison was not able to be here this evening.
Yes,
Oh, you have a note.
I do.
Do you know who's next?
I'm sorry?
Do you know who is next?
I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't either. I didn't check. So the one thing I did want to do, Betsy called me, I believe it was yesterday. She apologized profusely asked for Loren's phone number, said she had individually talked to each of you, and apologized for not being able to be here tonight. She just had another commitment that she had to be in, and she acknowledged that, you know, she had missed the 3 meetings in this quarter because of school district and other things. That she was out of town the first time, school district this time. And I told her that we very much appreciated her being, and again, this is essentially her last time because she is not running for mayor again. And so I told her that we appreciated very much her having been here, that she was, for me at least, I always felt like she was attentive. I enjoyed the fact that we had someone from the council who we felt supported us and was there that would, and I remember us asking her question and other liaisons questions on, you know, just different things that were council related rather than us related. And so, again, to Mayor Sticks, I appreciate the time. I've commented that the attendance by our liaisons in these last couple years have been, to me, an improvement to what others that have been in attendance. So, I mean, there's lots of reasons for not being able to attend, but we have had our liaisons, I think, here for majority of the time. So again, a big thanks to Betsy, and we wish her well going ahead. She'll of course still be our mail for a few more months. So is that what you're talking about, Mara?
Yes, thank you, Chair.
Thank you for the reminder.
I have a couple comments. On the agenda, it seems like we lost the site visit ex parte that kind of fell off. So if we could get that back on there.
Absolutely.
Good point. That's at the beginning.
Yeah, and then at the end, I think we had requested at some point, like during commissioner comments or as a part of, to talk about any education, like we all, I think 4 of us, I don't know if you did, but the 4 of us attended like something today, so I don't know, I just wanted to have some time.
That would be commissioner comments.
Okay.
And so, and yeah, sorry, I jumped ahead to the, I wanted to make sure that the chair mentioned the mayor, which is part of his commissioner comments, even though it's regarding the last item, which is the city council liaison. So back to commissioner comments.
Yep. You know, I just really want to say how much I appreciate that all of the attendance today. I mean, I think that the city is really fortunate to have commissioners that are taking these classes and learning and asking questions and absorbing so much material. This was, today was on historic districts, but there's just, I mean, just so much information. I mean, the good thing about it is recorded, so if you wanted to watch it, we have it now. But you really do need to go back and listen a few times because it's just such a wealth of information. But I just, as the education liaison, I just wanted to thank everybody for doing it. There's a second part in 2 weeks, so see you back online then.
Yeah, I thought that was excellent today.
And thank you for making sure we all had the password and sign in and all of that.
And I'd like to piggyback on that, and I really enjoyed that workshop today as well. I thought it was really informative. And they spent like a quarter of their time reiterating the fact that with all the housing mandates coming down from Sacramento and various other things that are impinging upon local control, that it's so important for cities to really buckle down and designate their historic properties to identify, register, and protect those, because once an application is in, it's too late. And you have to do that, you have to get it done. So I'm hoping that we can get the,
Oh, yes, I would.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I'm hoping we can get the commission and the city to take this seriously and get this done. Thank you.
Sorry about that. And then one last comment. On the last meeting, we had voted to go forward with our budget with San Buenaventura Research Group 2 with Mitch, and then we asked that Craig be the liaison for that, and then you had said you were going to reach out to Mitch, and I was wondering if you had a chance to.
So contact has not been made, although I have reached out.
Okay,
And thank you for bringing that up. I meant to say it during planning report.
thank you.
Well, thank you, everyone. Yeah, I thought what we heard today in the 2+ hours, because they took 25 to 30 minutes just answering questions. My personal favorite was on owner consent, so watch and see what they had to say on that. So, yeah, and I like that a lot of things, many of the things that they said were reinforced paths that we're already taking when they were talking about how updated surveys are so important to everybody in the community. And as Gina just mentioned, we're on that path. So, yeah, really good stuff that came through today.
It made me feel like we aren't alone out there. So many cities doing the same thing and contending with it, some of them very successfully. And I want to be successful like that. I wish everybody could watch those programs. This was a terrific one today. Thank you.
It was. Yeah, very much so. Yeah, it's I almost feel like I need to set up a text stream with Gina and whoever else is watching. Don't know that we can do that, but it's like, okay, ask him this. Yeah, ask him this. But yeah, they were great. Did you think so, Craig? Just with the answers, with the guidance, with the examples.
Just like any zoning law,
Yeah,
Yeah.
right, Brian?
yeah,
Just
yeah.
Just like any zoning law.
That's right.
Don't have a texting thing between all of you.
No, we don't.
No, we didn't. We did, but yeah, great comparisons and very much attributable to what we're doing now. Okay, Craig, anything else?
Nope.
Okay, Loran?
No.
Gina?
No.
Pat?
No.
Yep. Okay, didn't quite make the hour Gina was shooting for, but that was the goal.
Close.
Okay. Yes,
Happy
Thank you all.
10th, Brian.
thank you. Ooh, delicious.
I know that some of you still have to be, maybe probably.
Because of the masks.
Red masks on. But you're not invited to stay too long.
Well, I'll go outside and eat.
Staff can
Take
go
it
home. Okay, but I'm not rushing you out. I'm gonna clean up stuff if you wanna sit and eat your cake.
I'm going to eat it in the, I'll be really pathetic and eat it in my car alone. The only thing I don't think we discussed, and I wasn't sure if we were supposed to, was Bill Miley's public comment about the acoustics in the.
Oh, I know I didn't get to it.
I don't know if we were supposed to,
I
but,
was looking at the clock.
yeah. I mean, I don't know, because I don't know what you really could do. I mean, it's a tunnel. If you're gonna get it, it's gonna be loud in a tunnel. But I did want to acknowledge that
Oh, good.
I